So today I'm going to be talking about this lens, the Mitakon 65mm f1.4. So I originally bought this lens probably about 9 months ago now, around the time where I bought the Fuji GFX 50S. Now if you watch my earlier video, I mentioned that I kind of bought this lens on the recommendations of other videos that I'd found on YouTube. There's some really great resources out there that talk about the GFX 50S or the GFX range and the Mitakon setup in depth. But I basically bought this lens on that recommendation from others. It seemed like a really great pairing. It kind of gave the depth of field that I was looking for. And it was a close fit to that Pentax 105 lens that I also mentioned in my other video. I ummed and ahed about whether to get this lens because it was between that and the GFX 50mm, which is probably about £800, maybe £900 in the UK, which is not really all that much difference in price compared to the Mitakon, which is around 600. But I just wanted something that was not 50mm. I've shot 50mm in the past, albeit on full frame, and I know it's not the same as medium format, but I just wanted to use just a focal length that I've not really used before. So the Mitakon for me was really the obvious choice, that and the price. Now I will caveat this and say that this is technically a budget lens. It is cheap. I think it's about £500-600 in England, and that is cheap for a lens. You know, if you look at the other GFX lenses, you're looking £2,000-3,000 plus, and I'm not a professional. I don't need to spend that much money on a lens. But don't let the word budget put you off. This is a really good lens, like a really good lens for its price. It's really sharp. That f1.4 is just phenomenal. It's too shallow depth of a field for me. You could focus on someone's face and take a portrait, and their nose would be in focus and their eye wouldn't. It's that good and also that shallow. So like I say, budget lens, but it doesn't have a budget feel. The focus ring and aperture rings feel really nice to use. They're really smooth. I don't know if heavy is the right word to use. It's not hard to turn, but it's just when you turn it, it doesn't feel cheap. I guess that's the best way to put it. It doesn't feel cheap. It feels really well made. It's nice and smooth, and it's genuinely surprising, and it's a breath of fresh air for a budget lens to feel this good. And you can tell that Mitakon have put a lot of effort into this lens. Full metal body. It's just really nice to use, and the optics speak for itself. I'm going to put some shots up now on this video just to show you the versatility of this lens. Portrait, landscape, whatever you want to shoot, except for macro obviously, it really is a great all-rounder lens. And I think for anyone that wants to pick up this lens for the GFX system, this is a great place to start, especially if you're new to medium format or maybe even new to photography. I think 65mm is roughly equivalent to about 45mm full frame, which is kind of perfect in my opinion. But yeah, I'm going to showcase a few shots now, some work I've taken over the last 9 months with this lens, and I'll rejoin you again in a few minutes. So I've come to the other side of the town to shoot this large motorway overpass that you can kind of see behind me. It's a really odd part of town. It's like in a very old industrial part of town, and there's not a lot around here. There's a few houses behind me which you can see, which I think were probably here before this was built. But I really like this part of town, and I'm not really sure why. It's not an attractive part of town by any means, and there's nothing really interesting about it. I guess that any normal person would find, but for some reason I do. Now I really love that sort of new topographic movement. Think Eggleston, stuff like that. I really enjoy that type of work, and this area has a lot of those. It just has a lot of those type of scenes that I like to shoot, and if you know my work, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, one of the main reasons that I actually got out here today was from a guy called Robbie, another photographer that he is on YouTube and on Instagram, and you may know his work or his name. Now, he did a video the other day called Urban Topographics, where he went to actually a very similar location in his city, or not far from his city, and it had an overpass or sections of road that went, that cross paths, and it was kind of linked or based around the area of like an old decommissioned mill that I think maybe it provided electricity to the city at one point in time. Now that video is such a great watch. It's one of my favorite videos that I've seen recently, and the work that he outputs is just so great, and it's really the type of work that I like to shoot, and it's the type of content that I really like to enjoy and watch too. Now that video brought me out here today to shoot this location. I've actually been here before a very long time ago to shoot some night shots, and I just never really liked them. The lighting wasn't great. There isn't really a lot of light around here at all, so you're having to expose at 1 or 2 seconds, and I just don't really like working at night, and I prefer to shoot at this sort of time of day, because I think although the light is very harsh, it's just, with the exception of the shadowy areas behind me, that light just brings out a lot of those details that I like to capture in my videos, my photos. Those odd little oddities, cones or rubbish or something like that. I don't really know how to explain it, but this time of day really highlights those key areas for me, and those areas that I like to include in my shots or the scenes that I capture. So yeah, I'm going to do a bit of wandering around now. I'm going to fire off some shots with the Mitakon, show you this area, as boring as it may be for you, but just to show off the versatility of this lens, and hopefully this lens or this video will inspire you to pick up this setup or pick up this lens, or even just to go out and shoot these similar sort of situations or scenes that I do. Who knows? But I hope you enjoy this video. I'm really sorry for rambling. It's only my second video. I find it very hard to talk to the camera. I find it's an odd thing to get used to. I'm essentially talking to nothing. So I apologise for rambling or for the fluff. But, as time goes on, I will get better. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.